In court this week, I covered the sentencing of a Warman RCMP officer who pleaded guilty to assaulting a 19-year-old man while the man was being arrested by a different officer. Trent Blackbird was suspected of breaking into vehicles in Warman when police responded last February. Court heard another officer was about to handcuff Blackbird when Corporal Dean Flamin, who had been dealing with a different man, came running over. He was upset and yelling and admitted hitting Blackbird in the face and putting him in a chokehold that he called excessive. But the Crown argued the whole thing was excessive because Blackbird wasn't resisting arrest. However, the defense said Flamin believed his fellow officer needed his help, even though the officer said he told Flamin more than once that he had things under control. The defense called this an isolated incident that resulted from two extremely traumatic calls that Flamin had dealt with in the days leading up to the assault. One was a horrific car crash where children were killed. The other involved Flamin witnessing a suicide just before heading out to Warman. Now, the Crown didn't argue for jail time, but did argue for a sentence that would give Flamin a criminal record, saying Flamin was in a position of trust and that the violence was gratuitous. But the judge agreed with the defense that a conditional discharge was appropriate in this case. It means Flamin will not have a criminal record if he abides with court-ordered conditions for 12 months. They include 250 community service hours and apologizing to the victim. It's unclear at this point if Flamin will keep or lose his job with the RCMP. A Saskatchewan man who received one of the highest child pornography-related sentences in the province's history has pleaded guilty to 42 more child porn offences. They stem from 2015 when Shane Pattison was on statutory release, which is a mandated release that offenders get after serving 2/3 of a sentence. So basically, Pattison was at the end of serving his 5-year sentence for possessing and sharing horrendous child pornography images when police essentially caught him doing the exact same thing. They were doing a conditions check and caught Pattison in the process of watching child pornography involving children under 10 years old. In the end, more than 3,000 images and 800 videos were found on devices that Pattison wasn't even allowed to have. He'd also shared hundreds of images in chat room conversations. Sentencing has been adjourned for the Crown to mull over making a possible dangerous offender application. As always, you can read more detailed accounts of these stories and more at thestarphoenix.com.